Now let's see the example of encapsulation. Now what exactly encapsulation is, it's binding your data with variables, right? Or binding your data with methods. Now what I mean by that is, let's say I have a class here called a student, and in this class student I have two variables. One is int, let's say roll number, and the second variable is string, instead of comma which should be semicolon, and the string will be s name. So it has these two data, roll number and name. So in order to assign these values, first we need to create an object. So we'll say s1. Again, object name can be anything, but we'll go for s1 here. So the way you should create object is student, the class name, the reference name, and the new keyword, and then we'll go for a student constructor. Now here, in order to assign the values, since your reference is s1, we have to simply say s1 dot roll number equal to, let's say the roll number is 5, and s1 dot s name is equal to, let's say we'll have a roll name as Navin. Now in this we have used two variables, roll number and s name, and we are directly assigned the values. Now as per convention, all your data should be private. That means no other class should be allowed to use it directly, since we are directly accessing those roll number and s name using the object. This should not be possible. Now to make it to restrict that, we need to change the access specifier. Now what is access specifier? The access specifier can be private, it can be public, it can be protected. For this example, let me make your variables as private. In fact, all your data should be private. And this is what we have about data hiding. So you need to hide your data. So when you talk about variables, all your data, the variables should be private. Then question arises, I want to assign values. I want to assign this roll number and s name. How to do that? What we can do is we can use some methods to assign those values, and those methods will be public. So we'll define a method called as public void, and since we want to assign values, we'll use a method called as set roll number. So again, this is one of the convention to follow. When you want to go for this set method, always your method should start with a small letter, and since we are combining these two words, your second word should start with capital letter. This is what we say camel casing rule. And we need to pass a variable or value from here. So we'll say we'll accept it here. So we'll say it is R. Simple. And then say it is roll number equal to R. Clear? And then this is what with roll number. Let's define one more method for name. So we'll say set s name, and here we'll accept a name. So we'll say a name, and this name will be assigned to s name. So s name equal to name. Simple. So we are assigning these values here. So it is R, roll number equal to R, and s name equal to name. Now instead of directly using variable here, instead of calling a variable, we can call a method, right? Because method is public, and we can pass a value which is 5. Same here, instead of s name, we can say s1 dot set s name. This will be your we'll pass a name which is Navin. Simple. Now in order to fetch that value, let's say I want to print the name. So to print the name, I will say system dot out dot println, and in bracket I will print s1 dot s name. But I cannot call s name is because it's a private variable, right? So to fetch this value, we need a method again, and this time we'll define a method name as public. Since we want to fetch, we'll say return, it will return a string, and the method name will be get s name. Again, a convention to follow. The method name will start with get, and then you have to provide your s name, and the content will be returning here is s name. So return s name. Simple. Same you can go for roll number. So we'll say public int get roll number, and we'll return here we'll return a roll number. So we'll say return roll number. So what we are doing is we are using some methods which will set the value, and we are using some methods which will get the value, and that's why these methods are called as getters and setters. So instead of getting S1, we can say get SName here. Simple. So this is how we need to fetch the values. So instead of using variables, we should use methods. And now if I run this code, we'll say run as Java application. So you can see I have fetched the value which is Naveen here. So this is how we should go. We should use getters and setters. So when you bind your methods with variables, it is called as encapsulation. So this is the example of encapsulation.